Hi, welcome to the first one of these for a while. So what I wanted to do today was show 3 different ways of getting a ThreeJS scene to load. So I'm going to look at Parcel, I'm going to look at Rollup, I'm going to look at just doing it raw, VanillaJS. So I've been finding this difficult myself. There's the way things import and the way things work in ThreeJS, and I guess in JavaScript in general these days, depending on what kind of server you're using, this can be a little bit confusing at times. So I'm gonna just work off the basic, if Edge will load up here, the basic orbit controls example, because what's good about this is it is pretty simple, if I can get in the right way. All it is a really simple ThreeJS scene with an imported orbit controls. So if we jump here, go to the example. So it's this. Now if we take a look at the raw code, not a whole lot going on here. You see we're importing 3, we're importing orbit controls, and then it's just a simple scene. We shouldn't have to mess with too much there. So let's try and get this going in Parcel first. So I like Parcel because it tends to be quite straightforward. So we're going to copy that code, bring this over, open this up in Visual Studio. Let's get these in the right places. And make a new folder here. So I'm going to have a folder per method. So this is going to be Parcel. I just want to add in index.html and paste in all of this. Now, given the ways we're going to do it, I'm actually going to split out the script here just to make sure that we really see the difference, to make sure it's a consistent comparison between each one. So we're just going to call this app.js. Pop in that. I'm going to give myself a little prettier file so that when we're saving we get some nice styling. Source there, and it's going to be just app.js. We save and it's tidy. Save here and it's tidy. And we can close this. Cool. So all we really have in this folder is index.html and app.js. It's nothing crazy, but actually we'll get rid of this as well because we're not going to need this. And we're importing here. So this is importing in the same way as the actual ThreeJS repo. So if we try and run, so we're first going to go into, let me make this a little bigger to make sure you guys can see. So we're currently in the loading 3 folder, but we want to go into the Parcel folder in there. And if we have a look at what's in there, it's our app.js and index.html. So if I now run Parcel on index.html, we're going to have issues. So let's see if we can open this for now. Build error, cool. So the reason is that it's trying to import from this specific folder, which from this example is relative to the folders on that site in the actual structure of the ThreeJS repo, which we don't have and we don't want to do. So what we can do with Parcel, which is super handy, you can just say I want just 3, the name of the npm repo, and it'll be able to get that. But now it doesn't understand again what the orbit controls are. But because we're downloading 3, we can simply say 3 examples, and now it'll build. So I know this from the structure of the ThreeJS repo. That's where all the JavaScript modules are. It's really confusing that it's in examples, to me anyway, all the actual code that we need. But we can see it should have built now we're still getting an error of some kind. Unexpected token. Strange. What can be happening there? 3 as 3. Unexpected token. Just comparing to my notes here, that should be fine. And sometimes with Parcel you just need to try again. No. Main.css is causing an issue. Ah yes, because we don't have it. So let's just get rid of that. And we should be going okay. Let's try this again. Cool. So we're working in Parcel. Let's change the title here so we can keep track of what's happening. Parcel will come up here. Cool, so this is working. Super quick, super easy, nice and straightforward. All we need to do is import 3 and then import what we need from the examples. Pretty straightforward. If we check our network tab and do a little refresh, we'll see that we're pulling in quite a lot of code here. It's 1.3 megabytes. We go to JavaScript, we'll see 1.3 megabytes of JavaScript coming from this app, even though our file is only 98 lines long. Pulling in 3, we're pulling in orbit controls, they're going to have some weight. 1.3 megabytes seems like a whole lot, but this is brilliant for getting up and going really quickly. If you want to just get a project up and ready, Parcel is a great way to do it, a great way to practice. So let's try another example. Get a new folder. And this time we're going to try Rollup. So if we grab our index and copy it into Rollup and our app, app.js, and rename that. So Rollup is another beast again. So let's just close all of these so we don't get confused. We should be able to close up these examples. So we got Parcel, we're going to have Rollup. So what we want to do is get a new, let's make this neater, new ZSH. So we need a Rollup config. I really can't type today. And what we're going to need to do, no, it's not Rollup config. Config.js. So what's going to go on here is that we need some input files and some output files. So if we export default, and our input file, the file that we want Rollup to work with, is going to be app.js. Oops. Oh, come on. Sometimes VS Code is too helpful. And we need an output, so where we want the result of what Rollup has done, where we want that to turn up, and we want that to be the file, let's call it bundle.js. Cool, so that should be enough for us to work with now. And remember, we have exactly the same setup as we had in Parcel. So let's see what happens when we run Rollup. If I can think of the commands. So yeah, we just need to, we have a config file, so we need to just get into the Rollup folder and run Rollup with the config. So unresolved dependencies. So this is the kind of thing where I start getting frustrated, where things don't work the same way when you're jumping from app to app or server setup to server setup, or depending on your bundler. So how do we work with Rollup now? So Parcel automatically just went to when we had our app.js and we said we want 3. Parcel just went to, I believe, unpackage 3, got this and pulled it down. So is there a way of doing the same, or what do we need to do? What's the best way of working with Rollup? So with Rollup, what we need to do is get a package.js file going. So we need to npm init. I'm just going to say yes to everything, and we need to npm install 3. So this will give us a node module with 3 in it. We have the build and examples and everything here. So this is again more like what the ThreeJS example was expecting. So we can import 3 from 3, and we should be able to get the same file here this way, importing the orbit controls from 3. So let's try Rollup again. 3 imported by app, create a bundle, cool. So we have our bundle here. So this is brilliant. We have bundle.js. So let's try and run this server. So we're gonna just set up a HTTP server. We should be on localhost 8080, but we're getting problems. Can't use import statement outside module. Alright, because we're still loading app.js. So what we need is bundle.js, and we need it to be of the type module. So if we try that, can't resolve module 3, but we definitely have it here in node modules. So what's going on? The problem is we're loading a node module in Rollup, and Rollup seems to detect that and say, well, you've got a node module. No, Rollup's kind of, I believe, expecting to run in a back-end way. So it thinks those node modules will be just there, but it seems like they're not. So something I was trying was, can we go node modules 3? Sorry, it's node underscore modules. Try the same again. Let's run Rollup and run the server. We're not getting it because it's the wrong MIME type. So the way I figured this out, what I needed to do was change how we're using Rollup. So we need to install a few, or import and install actually node resolve, if I can spell. Oh yeah, from Rollup. So this is a Rollup plugin. What it allows us to do is work as if it's resolving node modules in Node. So running as if it's a Node server and resolving those modules. So when we say plugins and we just want to use that one, so we say node resolve. Now when we run Rollup, can't find modules. Sorry, yeah, so we need to npm install this. So we're going to say npm install, not node modules, Rollup plugin node resolve, and we want to save that for dev. So if we look at bundle.js, oh no, let me just get this exactly. Npm install So if we look at bundle.js, we're still trying to import some stuff here. But what we really want is this included. We want this in our setup. So let's run our rollup config again. Imported. So now if we look at bundle, it doesn't actually look like it's gotten better. Now we need to get a second server going here. HTTP server. So we're still not getting it. Failed to load. Response. It looks like it's coming through okay. Node module script. MIME types issue. So it seems we're still loading these separate files, which isn't exactly what we want. Let's try and add Cursor to the situation. Wait, actually in app.js. Yeah, sorry, I'm loading this the wrong way. So we want it to resolve like a node app. So let's leave Cursor out for now. So that's looking better. See the way it took some time? Now it's having trouble with orbit controls, but we'll get there. So now bundle and then orbit controls. So we're working. But we're still loading in orbit controls separately. So I want to make just one little change to make sure we're getting that as nicely as we can. Let me just double check here. Yeah, so we should be able to say back in app, again, get rid of this, was a bit of a mistake. We want it from the node modules. C. So it's going to that config, it's bundling everything together, and now if we refresh, we just have bundle.js and everything's in there. So you can see how this is a little bit more involved than Parcel, but the advantage is we're getting everything into one bundle.js, which is really neat. And we've gone on our JavaScript down to 1.1 megabytes from, so if I change the name here to Rollup, just so I don't get confused and we can compare nicely here. So in Parcel 1.3 with Rollup 1.1, and this is where Rollup's really handy. Now we're going to get Cursor involved, so this will minify all of our scripts. So I believe we should be able to just do it like this and then add in Cursor here. So if we see bundle, we're getting all of ThreeJS, all of the orbit controls, there's another modules thing that's needed, and then our actual code. But if we run Rollup another time, we're getting an issue. Can I find, we need to install this. I'm actually gonna just stop this server for Parcel because it's really hurting my fans. Yes, so we need to install the Rollup plugin Cursor. So again, this is an npm install. We run Rollup again, and it's not coming through. What am I getting wrong? Aha, we need to load it slightly differently. We need to just load Cursor from it. So this should work. Cool. Bundling. So app.js not minified. Sorry, bundle.js wasn't minified. And now when this is done, back, it's all minified and one line. So when we refresh Rollup, we go from 1.1 megabytes to 571 kilobytes. Huge improvement, especially when you compare it to Parcel. So this is coming closer. Sorry, we should jump back there. 1.3 megabytes. So this is less than half. This is getting much closer to what you want to do in production. But then again, this is an awful lot of stuff to be doing. This is if you want really clean production code. If you're doing a smaller project, is there another way? So yes, if we jump in and let's try and do this in VanillaJS. Let's move that out there. Copy over our app.js again and our index.html. And let's close up all the Rollup ones and stop these servers as well to give the fans a chance. Cool. So let's see how simply we can do this. How uncomplicated can we make this? So we want to load our app.js again, and we want to get a little server going. So let's get a new tab, copy this. So this is still looking like the Rollup one. Let's change this to vanilla. Sorry, I'm still in the parent directory, so we want to go into the vanilla folder, HTTP server. Cool. So we've immediately got some issues. We're loading app.js, but we don't have ThreeJS or the orbit controls, nor do we really want them. They're out there already. Can we take advantage of CDNs to try and do this in vanilla? Super easy. So the first thing we're going to do is look up ThreeJS CDN, and we get cdnjs.com, and if we look up 3, here we have it. So we want to get the script tag. So if we pop that in, now we're getting CDN backed up, ThreeJS. If we jump into vanilla, actually in app.js we no longer need to import 3 for 3. Cool. So now we're getting our ThreeJS minified, but we're still having problems with our orbit control. So can we do what we did before? And if we take this URL, it's going to 3, but I haven't found a neat way of following the folder structure here. So I actually go to unpackage and grab this structure and I think, yes, that gets us orbit controls. So I use this on CodePen when I'm trying to do orbit controls or import anything for 3. So if we pop that in, this will actually work as an import. If we check our vanilla, and we're rocking and rolling. We're using CDNs, and our code, if we look, because we haven't used any libraries, we haven't had to bundle anything. Sure, we have several script files coming in, but we're down to 359 kilobytes. So Parcel, very easy to get up and going quickly, ends up being huge. But if you're testing stuff out and you don't know what packages and stuff you're going to need, all you need to do, if we give a little reminder up here, is say, I want ThreeJS, and it'll get it for you. If you then say, I want Pixie.js, it'll go and get it for you. You're not going trying to find things. Rollup, again, when projects get big, Rollup's going to keep things neat because you've got that node modules set up. these files aren't set out nicely. You'd probably have a source folder for your index.html and app.js, a distribution folder for your bundle.js. This helps a big project be tidy. And then this little VanillaJS setup, it's as easy as you're going to get. And it's perfect for a small project, for demos, when you know what you're going to be using. It keeps it nice and simple. So there you have it. 3 very different ways of loading ThreeJS. These are things that I found really confusing, trying to understand, do I go to unpackage? So here we see in the VanillaJS, I have some stuff coming, ThreeJS coming from a CDN, and I have the orbit controls coming from unpackage. And I've only done that through my own experimentation and what I've figured out. In Rollup and Parcel, they're coming from node modules. Some of those node modules I've had to ask for. They're very different ways of getting the same code to run. And depending on your environment, it can be really confusing. Certainly for me, getting used to these imports and things. I'm a bit more old school. I come from the jQuery days. So working with these imports, to me, is confusing, understanding exactly when and how they work, and are they expecting to be in a node environment, or can they work in HTML5? That's what always got in my own way. So I hope this is a help to you, and I hope my fans haven't been too loud the whole way through this. Thanks a million. Hope you've enjoyed it. Cheers.